together for our first presenter. He is the owner of Three Brothers Farm. He has also has won the 2016 SCORE SBA Small Family Business that is moving on up. And you're going to see that by the items. He's going to show you that what they do with their company. So without any further ado, please put your hands together. See how you call me, Mr. Good? That
is. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
So can you hear me?
We need the microphone.
I don't need it.
We're not going to hear you with that.
I don't need it. So it's pretty though. I can hold it. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you very much.
I had to hold the microphone. Everybody has to hold the microphone.
Everybody has to hold the microphone. Okay, so I have to tell you that I retired in 2010 and was absolutely going crazy. My marriage of 40 years would have been down the shooter if I stayed around one more day. We had a family farm, and my family's been making sugar cane on that farm since 1962. And there's not much about sugar cane. You plant it this year, you wait a year, and then you harvest 3 years in a row, and then you leave it alone for a year and plant again. So it's a 4-year cycle. Well, we learned how to do that. It's not rocket science. I've been doing that since the 1600s. So when I retired, we started doing a few things around the farm just to be able to pay the bills for bush hogging and diesel fuel and stuff like that. All I wanted to do was pay some bills. So in about 2002, a woman from New Orleans drove up to the farm and says, I heard you sell some raw sugar at the farmer's market in New Orleans. I said, I occasionally do. And what was happening is on Friday nights, on the first and third weekends of the month, we would sift raw sugar. Now we'd get it from the mill, and we built a little box with wire screen, and my wife and I would shake it like this, and it would sift through. We'd do that for about an hour and a half till we couldn't hardly walk anymore. And we'd bring maybe 6 or 8 bags of 2 pounds of sugar to the farmer's market. We'd open at 8, by 9 or 9:30 we were sold out. Well, it's just too much labor. Well, I guess maybe about 2001, my wife says, I think I found a machine to do that work. Now this, I have to tell you, 2001, this is 2017, right?
Right.
Don't even talk to me about what Google was. I don't know how she found this. Google was not there.
Right.
I mean, you had to use a thing called Metacrawl, which I couldn't even spell it. She found this guy in Florida who had a machine he was bringing in from Taiwan. He was using it for something else, but it looked like it would work. We got it in from Florida. It was very expensive. But we were able, instead of bringing 6 bags of sugar to the farmer's market, we bring 40.
Whoa.
It made a big deal. Okay, it was a little thing that allowed us to step forward. Then this woman shows up at our driveway one afternoon, middle of the week. I'm on my tractor. I get off and go look at it. She says, I heard you have raw sugar at the farmer's market. And I said, I do. And I don't sell stuff off the farm. I'm not a retailer. It's not my job. You know, I can't stop and sell a bottle of raw sugar. I can't do that. She said, well, I'm not here to buy a bottle. I'm here because I represent a group of 5 restaurants in New Orleans, and they want to start using your sugar. One of them's a barbecue place, one of them's a Cajun place, one of them's a fancy restaurant, and they want to use your sugar. Well, it turned out it was the Donald Link Restaurant Group, and they own Cochon, Butcher, Pesh, Herb Saint, one other. They own 5 of them. So at that point, I was at a point where I needed to figure something out. Now, understand this, I'm doing this on the run. I really, at that time, had a day job. I was a cancer specialist at Merck. I'm a nurse. And I would go around teaching doctors how to use new molecular treatments for cancer. And I have a degree in chemistry. So I said, well, I can make this happen. I'm smart enough. Not thinking you could deal with a chef or a guy who wants to train in restaurants. I had to learn all over again. It was a whole new thing. And I had nobody coaching me. I had to learn it kind of on the run. So we started selling to Link. Fast forward some years, the sugar business continued to grow, and all we were doing was putting in 5-gallon buckets. And then one day I retired and I moved to New Orleans to be near my 2 boys and my grandchildren. I was making French toast for one of my grandchildren, and she had a reaction. And we would pour cane syrup on our French toast. She had a reaction. She was allergic to something in that cane syrup. So I said, well, hell, I make 71 tons per acre. I can do this. So I started making syrup. The problem was I had to buy a special pot, and this pot made 42 bottles of syrup in one batch. So they took a bottle home, I kept a bottle left, and 40 bottles. I was giving them away. I give them to friends. I still had more syrup than Carter had liver pills, right? So I get a call one day from a young lady named Simone Reggie, who had an operation called GoodEggs.com. You may have heard of it. It was an online farmer's market for New Orleans. It was very successful. She wanted to have the syrup. She had seen the syrup, and my son had gone to high school and gave her a bottle of my syrup. I was happy. I had 40 bottles, right? So I got the bottle to her. About a week later, I get a call from a young lady who's the forager for Whole Foods. We need to have some of this syrup at Whole Foods. Well, I still had my 40 bottles, but that's not Whole Foods. That's a different animal. So I tried to figure out what I was going to do with this. Somehow I get an email from some place, I don't know where. I get an email and it invites me to a business meeting in Slidell that was put on by school. How to start your own business. I went over there. They had great donuts and coffee. I'm sitting through the thing, and I'm not realizing it yet, but I'm really ahead of the game for most of the people in that audience. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying that where I was in my life and my business, I was ahead of where they were. They were trying to figure out, you know, I make baby blankets. I could do this for a living. I could make a business. Well, you go to that store meeting and they teach you how to make a baby blanket business. So I'm actually making this, and I'm not in this pretty bottle. I'm not making any of this. I just have this in a country looking bottle, 16 ounces. I'm getting my labels printed by a guy who does business cards. So, break, the guy calls me and he says, come to the back, I need to talk to you. So we go get a donut and we're in the back talking. He says, I don't think this level is right for you. I think you need to be at a different level. I said, I understand what you mean. I said, I'm here to learn about my business. That's not what we're here about. We're here to teach a person how to start making a baby blanket business and what all. I said, okay. Well, I stayed anyway, and I did pick up some things. And I picked up a lot of names and contacts. About 2 weeks later, I get a call from him, and he said, I'd like for you to come to Hammond. We're going to have a session here, and it's a little further advanced. I think you could maybe pick something up. I went over there, and he said, bring a bottle of syrup. They hadn't seen the syrup. So I brought a bottle of syrup, and they didn't like the bottle. They didn't like the label. They didn't like, they were very picky about it. And I have to tell you, I took umbrage at it. Pride of ownership will get you in a lot of trouble. If you think it was yours and it's the best thing ever, maybe not. You could find a cure for cancer and somebody will say, yeah, but it makes me nauseous. Think about it. So, I'm at this meeting and the guy says, can I have your permission to do a little work on this? I said, sure. About a month later, he sends me an email and he says, check this out. There's a picture of a different bottle, different label, all using off-the-shelf Microsoft artwork. And I'm thinking, well, this is kind of cool. But it was stuff I hadn't done. I didn't know how to do that. And he was using the advertising department at Southeastern. Well, that began a relationship with the school. From that point, they helped me to develop a bottle. The first bottle we developed was this looking bottle. It was in glass. And it was the only bottle I could find. It came out of Miami. I had to buy 3 pallets of it. I had to borrow the money to buy it. It was a bear. Each of the bottles had to be washed. They had to be dried. They had to be sanitized before you could put a molecule of syrup in it. That was our first run at it. I got halfway through those bottles and I started selling bottles off to somebody else, and I found these in plastic. About that time, I get a call from the guy who's been making the #1 dish at Jazz Fest for 31 years, crawfish monocle. He calls me up and says, I have a contract to supply duck commander with cane syrup. I want to use your syrup. Can you do this? Now, I'm thinking, that's duck commander. I had seen them on TV one time. I thought they were kind of funny. I never could find them after that. They were on a channel that I don't usually watch, but they had a following, and they were multimillionaires, and they had a marketing arm. In the month of January, a year and a half ago, we made 26,000 bottles of this. Of those bottles, half of them were Duck Commander, and half of them I rub staked in my labels. I bought the same bottles. I bought one label die. I had coaching from SCORE. For example, when you make labels, who would have thought this? When you make labels, there's a couple things. This is only 2 colors. The black doesn't count. It's 2 colors. Every color you add adds 30% to the existing cost. The shape of the label, that's called a die. If you use all the same size labels, you have only one die to make. $250. I had some advice helping me. I would have never done that, okay? I went into this business and this was mine. Then I decided, well, you know what? People started asking me for this syrup. And among the people that were asking me for it were people in restaurants. And all I had was this. So I said, well, I can either do a food service bottle. So I came up with this guy. Now I had to tell you what happened to this afternoon. On my way over here, I went to put it in my truck, I dropped it. My left hand is weaker than my right hand. I dropped it. It landed on my driveway like this, which is kind of downhill, fell over on its side, it rolled down the driveway, in the gutter, across the street, in Miss Marion's gutter on the other side. When I say a gutter, you know the curve, right? Right. I mean, I'm looking, I say, I'm going to put this in my truck, I'm going to have a half gallon of syrup on the floor of my truck, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I went inside, but it gave me an opportunity to tell you that we don't use this anymore. It's the only one I got left. What we did is we went to this. Now let me tell you about this. Again, I'm getting coaching. I don't make these decisions in a vacuum. This cost me 42 cents, and the lid was 1.5 cents. I got 43.5 cents tied up in the bottle alone. This cost me 31 cents. And when I start buying it in containers, it's going to go down to 9 cents. You see, in business, you buy your sugar, whatever your business is, whatever it is. I buy my sugar, I pay my labor, I pay my bottle, my bags, my raw material, I pay my people that do my work for me, my cardboard boxes. Every cardboard box contributes 4 cents to the cost of this. I do all of that. When I make a warehouse full of that syrup, I got to sell off warehouse to pay all those bills until I get to this level. When I get to that level, I'm in the clear. Well, I had a bad experience. The manufacturer where I was bottling this, not this one, but this one, unknown to me was warehousing my stuff. Unknown to me when he'd make stuff for other people, he was using my syrup without paying me for it. I did an audit. And I may not, on that bottling, I may not reach that level where I'm going to make profit. But I'm out of there. It was a lesson hard learned. Had I taken a little bit more advice or looked a little bit, had I gone to somebody and said, I need to know about bottlers. You see, I met with a SCORE guy in manufacturing who got me to this point. I got to this point because I had problems with this point. You learn some of those things the hard way, man. And that was an unfortunate thing. If you have an opportunity to listen to somebody, you really need to. The way I came across the guy from Crawfish Monica was the damnedest thing you ever heard. I was going to build a building. I couldn't get anybody in Orleans Parish to work with me. I found a restaurant, and me and a chef were going to buy it, and we couldn't get the city to inspect it. Couldn't get anybody to even meet us there. So somehow somebody found out, and they called me from Jefferson Parish. JEDCO is what it's called, Jefferson Economic Development Council. Called me up and said, I'd like to meet with you. So I drove out. Man, they are way out down Highway 90, past Moscow's down there, I think. And so I met with them, and I said, I need a building that's only 30 by 40. Just needs to be about a half size bigger than a garage. That's what I need. But I said I need to have a steam kettle. See, I'm going into this myself. I don't know jack about a steam kettle. I said I need to know how to buy one. She says, I'm going to put you in touch with somebody. She brings me to the guy at Crawfish Monica. He looks at me. I went through everything. We have, to this day, we've been together for 3 years. To this day, we don't have a non-disclosure agreement. We don't have a contract. It's a handshake deal. And he says to me, he says, I got a dumb question to ask you. Why do you want to build a building in a kettle? Are you crazy? I said, how am I going to make it? He said, I'm going to make it for you. He said, I do that for a living. Why would you want to buy a kettle? You know what a kettle costs? I said, no. He said, about $35,000. You know what a building costs? $40 a foot. $40 a foot, and I was looking at a building that was about, I don't know, maybe 3,000 square feet. That was $120K. And I didn't even put a light in it yet. This was a slab in a building. So he guided me. So I'm here to tell you that I'm here because of the coaching and the guidance I had. From this, I went to this. I had to learn that the hard way. From this, we're now in all the Rouses, and all the Whole Foods in Arizona, and every white tablecloth restaurant in New Orleans is using our syrup in this container instead of steams. That's a big step. And let me tell you, the chef at Commander's Palace is a guy named Torrey McPhail. I've seen pictures of him. He don't know me from Adam. I could never get to, if I went to Commander's Palace, I couldn't even get the back door. But the guy who sells him his fish knows him. And the guy who sells him his fish is important to Torrey McPhail. Because you go to Commander's, you need the best fish there is. So that guy sells this for me. I take a cut, he makes the margin, and now I'm at Commander's Palace. So if you think that you need help, it's too late. When you get to a point where you say, I'm out of gas, man, I need some help figuring this out. You're 2 innings late. You need to do that in the bottom of the 5th, not the bottom of the 8th. And I don't know any other way to tell you. The score has been amazing and valuable to me in that they've been able to put me in touch with people. A guy who was a manufacturer got me into a shop that could bottle this. 26,000 of these in 1 month. Another guy got me in touch, come to me with Duck Commander. Another guy came to me and says, listen, if you give me enough of these, if you give me 50 cases of these, I'll put them in every bag, every goodie bag of Nola Locavore. And you'll be a sponsor along with Rouse's and Auctioner. I said, I can do that. Rouse's calls him and says, dude, what's in the bag that I don't know about? He said, this is in the bag you don't know about. Every Rouse's. You will be surprised at what you will find if you just say, I need some help, man. Yeah. I guarantee you, everybody in here can offer me one bit of help. I don't care what it is. I sell syrup to a guy in the Bywater, and one day he shared with me that he takes this cane syrup, and when he makes French toast, he puts, and I'm not, you can't patent recipes, but this recipe is amazing, and we do this, we all do this. He heats up when he's making his French toast while he's got a little skillet with a little bit of this in it, and he squeezes a little bit of orange juice in it or lemon juice, depending on who he's serving. Like he might know you not like orange juice, you might like yours a little tart. Put a little of that in the syrup, puts it in the bottom of the plate, and he lays the French toast on top of it. And I'm thinking, well, I started doing it. I started doing it. So I guarantee you can, I can learn something from everybody in here, and I can't tell you the SCORE people, if you're not taking advantage of what Dr. Holloway and the folks at SCORE have available, you're missing something. If you make baby blankets, you need to be making them, it's either a business or it's a hobby. And if it's a hobby, treat it like a hobby. If it's a business, you better treat it like a business. Because the guy you owe all this to, all the material, he's going to want his money. For me, it's been quite a trip. If you look at these 2 labels, I've had some advice. If you look at these 2 labels, these guys here, the syrup is red on a gold background. The sugar is gold on a red background. The plates are the same size. And we always run in what's called position 4, because there's 4 different ways you can put the labels on a roll. It depends on which way the label machine puts them on the bottles. All my machine, the guys that do it for me, they position 4. So all my labels, see, you learn these little things, one little step at a time. So if you're making baby blankets, you damn well better be the best baby blanket maker there is. You can learn about baby blankets. I use that as an example. But this now, this is in the Rouse's stores. This is in the Rouse's stores. This is, I sell this stuff in Nashville, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, New York City. This stuff, I send 50 pounds of this every 3 weeks to New York City to a place called Ben LeBlanc's Good Stock Soups. Because you know what he uses it for? He makes sweet tea. Now, sweet tea is second nature for us. Who would have thunk it, right? Ben buys sugar cane from Vermilion Parish to sweeten his tea. What I'm saying to you is that sometimes you turn over a rock and there's a snake, sometimes it's a $5 bill. So, I mean, you know, I went from there to there. This week, our coffee shop business, we're trying to expand. There's no way of keeping raw sugar from clumping up. It's what's called hygroscopic. It attracts water, so it keeps blocked. This is not brown sugar, guys. Brown sugar is white refined sugar that they spray with syrup, with this. Raw sugar comes out of the mill, and I get it. When I get it, it's on the floor of a building that's the size of a football field. I take it and clean it. And this is what you get. Well, coffee shops want this. People that pay $4, $5 for a cup of coffee, they want this high-end sugar. So it took me years. 3 weeks ago, I found this made by a company in Taiwan who wants me to buy a 20-foot box on a ship, which would cost $300,000. I'm paying $14 a piece for them. I'll just buy 10 at a time, please. But coffee shops want this because this is the only thing out there that keeps raw sugar from clumping in a coffee shop. So now I got something that coffee shops want. So we're moving into the coffee shop this morning. I have 3 new coffee shops this morning. If you think that you have a good idea, good. But that's not good enough. A good idea is just not good enough. It's not. I mean, you have to have the best idea. And sometimes even a bad idea is better than your idea. So you've got to have somebody who says, that might be a cure for cancer, but it's going to make people throw up. What you going to do about that? And I just think we need to be more open about that. We need to be more prepared to say, I need some help on this. And if you're not getting help from SCORE, you're missing out. D'Artagnan, when I was at the governor's mansion to accept that award, I met so damn many people over there, I tell you. It was amazing. D'Artagnan came over, pulled me to the side, talked to me about his part of it, somebody else. And everybody in Small Business Administration, they actually have a specialty. His specialty is different from another guy that he put me in touch with tonight. I wouldn't have had that tonight had he and I not bumped nose tonight. Just, it's remarkable, guys. SCORE is, if you're not networking with SCORE, you're kind of missing out. That's why I'm here tonight. I'm here. If I can answer any questions, pull me aside.
All right. We're good. Does anybody have questions for Bob at this time?
How many acres you got? How many acres I got is really a great question. We started off in, I was born in 1944. My grandfather bought the farm there. When it started, it was 300 acres. He sold off 100 acres and it cleared his debt. Sold it, got his money back. He kept selling it off. In 1960, he had a stomach operation and the bill was $12,000. Pause for a minute. In 1960 what $12,000 was. And the next door neighbor said, I'll give you $12,000 if you give me these 4 acres. This kept happening until all of a sudden we're down to 40-something acres. I now have half of it at 22.5 acres. But look what it does. I make 71 tons an acre.
What does that translate into as far as finished product?
Finished product, you know, I have to do the math, but the tons of cane, oh yeah. I can't turn all this into sugar and syrup from what I make. And a person asked me one time, what about the Cuba relationship? Or, you know, President Obama has this new relationship with Cuba. I don't, this is a big deal. We're going to have cruise ships out of New Orleans to Havana. So the deal with Cuba, they make sugar. Well, it's going to probably take 30 years before sugar's technology in Cuba catches up with what we're doing in Thibodeau.
Woohoo! That's pretty good.
So we're not afraid of that.
Right. I
So-
like that.
So you'll fight him 30 years from now.
30 years from now, man, I'm going to be Saint Bob. So, you know, it doesn't take a lot of land. I mean, this here was more, I mean, I got to tell you, I'm still in debt, but we're paying the bills. And my son earns an income out of it, so it's working.
Like, if you can tell them how do you feel that your son and now you be able to pass that legacy down for generations of Three Brothers Farm?
I am the third owner of that land since 1890. It has no debt against it. My grandfather said, don't ever mortgage this. And buy all the land you can get because they're not making it anymore. It's an old Frenchman that didn't speak English.
Right.
And so the legacy, D'Artagnan, to my son, you know, it's three brothers since 1890. My son is going to take it over, and right now he's learning, I'm teaching him every aspect of it. And really, the clock's moving faster because about 2 months ago I had an issue with my legs, and I may have to have some surgery. I'm going to be 73 this year, and I really think that my life, I'm in the November of my life, I need to start teaching him. I need to do exactly what you're talking about. It's no longer a legacy. If I don't get him trained, it will become a hobby.
Right.
And so I need to get it together myself.
You look really good.